it's like, oh, we should crack a beer and have a good time and stuff. But man, I don't want another beer.
Yeah.
We've drank enough.
I don't blame you. I could agree with that. Alrighty. Welcome back. Twisted Wrist episode number 2 coming at you. It is 10:38, starting out late here, Sunday night after Anaheim. Holy cow, we got so much to go over, so much to talk about. I haven't talked to Brandon at all since pretty much Friday. So he's got a lot of stories. I got a lot of stories. First off, I guess everyone, I hate to even do this. I can't believe I'm doing this, but follow, like, share, subscribe, send us gifts if you would like. I never thought I'd ever say that in my life, but
dude,
we're feeling like Jake Paul.
We're legit those people now. Like,
yeah,
unbelievable. Media.
Yeah.
Welcome to the media.
Who would have thunk? Yeah. So, episode 1 was pretty good. We got some decent feedback from mostly family and friends, but
I got to be straight up. My family barely supported it. I had good friend support, but my own siblings were like, "Yeah, no, we didn't listen." So, but no, it went good. At least we don't sound super sick this time, so that should be a lot better.
Feeling a little bit better, less sick, but definitely more tired / hungover than I would like to be for this. But
yeah, I hear you. Well, I just flew in. Like, I just got home 15 minutes ago and then set this up real quick. So, been a long day. We didn't pick the best flights. Like, there wasn't a direct flight out of Anaheim. So, like, we still had, like, a layover flight to deal with. But it is what it is. We got home.
Who did you guys fly with?
Me and Frank.
But, like, what airline?
Oh, WestJet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we got spoiled, dude. Like, the flight down to LA was crazy with all the fires going on there. Like, the plane was supposed to be full, and it was only 30% of the people on there. So, like, we had full aisles to ourselves, and then coming home was a full plane, and the middle seat guy never showed up. So him and I had that spacing, and then the little jumper plane from Calgary was nothing to write home about, but it's fine.
Yeah. What a treat, though, when the middle seat guy doesn't show up.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah,
bragging about it. It was a good time.
Sweet. Okay, well, you were there, and I haven't talked to you at all, so I know you got some stories for me.
Yeah, typical stuff goes on. Lots of stadium brawls.
There's some fights going on?
Yeah. Third bowl, like, you could see it, like, you could hear people start, like, yelling or whatever, and then you just look up, and then, shit, man, we must have seen 2-3 fights break out. And just over, like, it's always over the dumbest stuff, right? Like,
yeah, like, what are people fighting about at Supercross?
Oh, I don't know. Like, the past couple years that we've gone, you always catch one. I don't know what they're ever about, but
holy,
there was that going on. And then probably the funniest story we seen at the stadium, and, like, I don't want to blow the guy out because he was actually, like, really, really cool with us in the moment, but we're leaving the stadium, and I walk into the bathroom, and I'm taking a piss, and this guy comes over my shoulder, and he's like, you can tell right away, just loaded. And he's whispering over my shoulder. He's like, "Man, wouldn't it be nice if we just don't have to piss?" And I'm like, who is this? So I just, like, I'm doing my business, right? So I'm like, yeah, it would be kind of convenient. I turn around, and it's Axel Hodge, and he is loaded. Like,
oh, seriously?
Full cross-eyed Billy, no idea what's going on. He's like, "Dude, I hate it, man. It just gets so uncomfortable. I don't want to do that shit." So
he wasn't getting hounded by people in the washroom?
No, man. Like, he was such a loose cannon that people were almost, like, keeping their distance from. Like, I'm not saying he was like, yeah, it was just like, you don't want to approach him. He was so drunk. It's just like, oh man, like, leave the guy alone. He's kind of on one, right?
Yeah.
So I walk out, and, like, me, Frank, and then the Stan Currington and Joel Currington kind of all met up. Oh, and Boston as well. And I'm like, dude, I just ran into Axel, and he's just loaded right now. Well, he's over my shoulder again, fucking listening to what I'm saying. And I'm like, I just kind of, like, blew myself out. He's like, "Why you gotta be like that, man?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to embarrass you." So I'm like trying to recover, and I'm like, just came out with the Deserted 2, that YouTube video.
Yeah.
And I thought it was actually super sick. And I tell him like, man, your Deserted 2 video, man, that shit was so awesome. And just looks at me dead in the eyes, like doesn't register for a few seconds. He's like, broke my fucking leg on that video, dude.
He's like, that wasn't awesome.
He's just like, yeah, he's so out of it. And then finally someone came and grabbed him, like pulled him back into one of the box suites. And I'm like, yeah, man, that was cool. I met Axel.
Fuck, you should have asked him to get on the pod.
Oh, dude. No, not a good time to ask him.
He's probably more hungover than me and you today. So,
oh, yeah.
He probably doesn't want to do too much talking.
No. But yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, we'll share some, we got to get into the racing, but I got a couple, hotel, like same thing. There was fights and cops showed up at the hotel we were at and shit. So
holy Anaheim, they're going nuts right now. Hey,
California, man, every time I go there and there's some kind of event going on, it's not chill. You can always find some shit.
Yeah,
but
holy cow. Okay, well, yeah, we might as well dive in because this is probably going to be a long one. So yeah, first things first, I guess we can talk about some 250 stuff if you wanna dive into that.
Yeah.
What did you think, Joe Shimoda?
Total surprise, man. You see that coming at all?
No, not at all.
No, nor did we. Yeah, Omer and Deegan were pretty much the stars of the day. Like, they were setting some pretty quick times and going back and forth and qualifying and just like physically looked like the fastest dudes. Like, Shimoda was completely off my radar all day. Like, you seen him and he looked good and like it was just like typical Shimoda. Yeah, just pulled it up, qualified fourth, like good time, but like
nothing crazy, not a standout.
No, just having a good day, right? But come main event time, like, Beaumer did put the pressure on him, and yeah, he rode solid. Like, there was so little mistakes out of him, and just brought her right to the end.
Did he look pretty spunky though? Like, you could tell he was ripping.
Oh yeah, he looked way spicier than last year. I don't know if they had anything figured out on the new bike or anything, but yeah, he looked awesome. Like, main event dude, like so calm, just did laps, really, really consistent. Actually, pulling this up, do you have the SMX app on your phone?
No, I do not.
You'll have to download that. I gotta get the SMX guys credit. They got this app on the phone now, and it has a ton of information on like race results, lap times, segment times. They give you like percentages of like lap time consistency and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it is a wicked app, and it's so much better than what they had. It's like quick and easy to access. So
is it literally just called SMX? Oh, is it SMX Live for AMA Supercross?
Yep.
That's it?
Yeah. So if anybody's out there trying to watch that or lap times and stuff, download that thing. It is awesome.
Okay, sweet. Nice to see that they're actually spending some time and money getting something like this developed.
I know. Yeah. Like, when I don't remember how I even found this. I was at the race and it was advertised somewhere, and then I downloaded it. I'm like, finally, this is sweet. So, like, I'll tell you right now. So Shimoda's lap time consistency was a 98.38%. And basically he ran 106s, dipped into 105 ones, but yeah, 106, 107 the entire race. Like, had a really, really consistent race.
Consistent ride.
Yeah, so
nice.
And then now he's a drink weird rider.
Yeah, I don't know if Monster's probably... I think that was probably a shot at Monster, hey?
Oh, I have no idea.
For dropping him?
I have no idea what that would be about.
Dude, it was so weird seeing a guy carrying like his own personal water bottle up on the podium.
With a sticker.
Yeah, it's like sticker bombed. It's like something I'll pull out of my fucking cabinet.
And then he's like, yeah, these guys sponsored me after second practice. I'm like, sounds like a pretty legit negotiation, but... If anyone's wondering, Drink Weird's an energy tea drink that I guess is out there.
Is he going to run it on his helmet, you think? He's going to have a full Drink Weird lid at San Diego?
I think by looking at the company, we'll just stick to the sticker on the water bottle budget for the year. Yeah.
They're not forking out the big cash.
No, for sure not. But going into the next guy, like Beaumer, should have had it, dude.
Yeah, he looked really good. And honestly, I don't think a whole lot of people had him on their radar, but I could see it last year even. It was starting to develop, and I knew that it was going to come around eventually for him.
Mm-hmm.
And this start to the season, like, man, he's going to be dangerous.
Dude,
this whole season.
I got some pretty good info on him. Boston really helped with that one. And it was funny because we were kind of running our mouths back and forth between, KTM and Yamaha and who's going to be the top dog. And like Beaumer all off season was saying like, I'm going to run with Deegan, had the confidence coming in and stuff. And then that fur coat he comes in with, dude, that thing was sweet.
Which is so weird for him because, dude, you listen to his interviews and like after the race and shit, and he seems like the quietest fucking dude ever. And he's like so weird. Like it's like KTM produced him in a factory. He's like an AI rider.
No, that's not him at all. We were talking to his suspension tech there at the race, and apparently like he was telling us he's a really good kid, like with a lot of personality. Like I guess he's pretty funny, but like their off season was really, really good. I guess he's actually a really good test rider. And like after Des Nations, when they all got back to the US, like they've been testing nonstop since, like going pretty hard, trying to get this thing dialed right in. Sweet. And at the track, like at the race on Saturday, they made like pretty minimal shock adjustments. And then, yeah, he was ripping all day, man. He looked so good on that bike. And quietly, if you look up the lap times throughout the day, he was actually just a hair faster than Deegan all day.
Was he?
Yeah. But the coolest part about it, and we'll talk about it with Deegan, but like physically, like when you watch Deegan ride, you're like, holy shit, like he is ripping. Like Deegan makes his riding look way faster than Beaumer. Beaumer is just a very smooth rider with, a ton of speed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good showing out for KTM. Like, I think they probably needed that. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's really nice that Chase was able to get the win. And yeah, this Beaumer, like, it's going to be another great, it's going to be a great year for KTM, I think, if this guy keeps it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you look at we were comparing the heat race lap times, and like Beaumer's heat, he was in the second heat, so the track slightly broke down more. And yeah, he ran faster lap times than him in the heat races. And then, watching him in the race was pretty impressive because he is only 18, like he's a young kid, but I think he managed it really, really well. Like that first lap, like he was pretty loose trying to get around Shimoda, and I think he just held himself back, kind of got into a groove, and then realized like, maybe it's not worth going for that win at the first round. Get the second, get the points. Like I'm pretty sure there was some form of communication, or he figured out that Deegan was a little ways behind him, so probably was just playing the smart race game. So no, it was awesome.
Pretty confident too, man. Like in his interviews, like I obviously said, he seems pretty quiet and like a little bit weird or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, man, he's got some expectations. Like,
oh yeah,
he's talking about like, yeah, I should be like winning, and I want to be up there on the podium like every race. So good for him, man.
Yeah, we'll see come round two, like if he handles that expectation pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Third place, Jordan Smith didn't really stand out a ton to me. I guess he did come up a little bit through the pack. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. It looked good. Bike looks pretty decent. Yeah, didn't really stand out a whole lot, though, to me.
Yeah, you got to see a lot more at the race of him. He was running up a little bit higher, and then had that tip over, went back to sixth. And I actually kind of expected him to hang out there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, charged his way up to third and man, had really good lap times. Like he was ripping. That bike does, like those Triumphs look really, really good on the track. Like second year in the sport, man, they have, they got a good bike out there. So,
yeah. Do you like the FXR switch?
So we want to say our worst kit of the race.
Okay, well, I guess we'll save that for later because I got a little segment I want to do with you. So
okay, yeah.
Let's
we'll move on from that question then.
We'll move on from that.
But yeah, just to get my facts right, so he got up to third, fell back to sixth, and then worked his way into third and was running, the 106, 107 lap times with the leaders. Like think he stayed up, man. He would have been right with them. So no, impressive showing for sure. I think he's another guy that we're gonna have to just kind of keep in the back of our mind for, down the road championship stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Rider D, best finish prior to this was an 8th. Rode really well, looked fast. Yeah, in the notes, Gas boys made good strides this year with the bike. I guess, yeah, all of them, really. Like,
yeah,
Barsha was surprising, too.
That whole Austrian group, I know they're going through a lot of stuff right now. A lot of people are talking a lot of stuff, but the KTM Husky Gas guys are they're doing something right over there. Barsha, like, we'll talk about 450s, but Barsha looked really, really good. And Ryder, man, he was rolling to go from his best finish being an 8th to that 4th place. Like, yeah, he looked great on the bike. And then into the next guy that everybody's been talking about, man. We got the Haiden Deegs. Yeah. His opening ceremony video, I wish they would show that stuff on TV, but it was cool as hell. His opening ceremony video was with Ice Cube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he had Ice Cube. It was him beside his Lamborghini Yaris, and he had this smoke show of a blonde girl in the passenger seat, and he's on the phone with Ice Cube, and he's like, "You good if I come to your town and like to race West Coast?" And Ice Cube's like, "Hell yeah, come to my town. If they got a problem with me, talk to Ice Cube." And then he came out to bow down, and it was sick. I love the opening ceremony.
Wait, he was there?
Ice Cube? No. It was just like the opening ceremony video.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
But that's cool. I mean, like to get a guy like that involved, like that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Who was it that came out to watch Jett? That was it. It was that Pala. I
Dennis
think.
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, dude. But
the guy had zero clue what was going on.
Yeah.
He probably barely even remembered fucking Jett's name, and he's the guy that invited him out to the race.
I'll have to pull that up again one day. He wore a pretty vulgar t-shirt too, and I think there was I think he got a little bit of trouble over that, but he cared anyways.
Yeah.
But Deegan, to watch live, is unbelievable in person, dude. Like, he looks cool on a bike. Like, just some of the stuff he does around the track is just like, holy shit, you can't believe, like, he just did it and made it look so smooth. Like, it's not sketchy at all.
Yeah. But he's very aggressive though too, but he makes it work.
Oh, super aggressive, like scrubbing between the rhythms, like throwing whips between the rhythms. And then one notable one is way in the back behind the start straight. There was a jump over table into the right-hand corner, and he was like jumping and landing mid-corner and then cutting down and accelerating out of it. And like just watching him do it and like to get stopped and then turn down is a real showing of how strong he is, man. Like it is really impressive to watch him ride. So
yeah,
I've never been like the biggest fan of him, but then getting to see him ride in person is fucking awesome. So yeah. But shockingly enough, like the lap times didn't lie. Like I don't think he'll win this completely outright like we all kind of predicted coming into it. Like I think some guys will give him, a little bit of trouble, so it'll be cool to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's making friends in the class either, Like, if somebody wants to, they can squeeze him out at the start if they're ahead of him.
Yeah.
If a guy doesn't like him or he's giving him a little too much in the corner, they'll fucking take him out.
Yeah. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit though, like, because there's been that chirping between him and Kitchen. And did you catch the comment he gave about Kitchen about not showing up?
No, I didn't catch it.
Oh, yeah. After the heat race, he's like, yeah, well, one of my main competitions decided to, not show up today. So he tossed that out there. And then Beaumer was like throwing some chirps at him. But there was an interview after the race. He was straight up. He's like, you know what? The chirping's for fun. And like, if Kitchen's genuinely sick, like I wish him best health or whatever, right? Kind of stuff. So, yeah, that was cool for me to listen to, but yeah, it's at least like the sport has got some personality in it. Like when they throw the chirp and it's like live in the stadium, it's entertaining, right? It's awesome to hear.
Yeah. Well, we can move down the list a little bit. I guess we can quickly touch on Cody Schock. He looked pretty good.
Yeah, man.
I honestly thought he was gonna fucking punt Deegan on that last corner though. I was like, oh my god. He almost had him.
His interview, he's just like, I'm not going to be that guy. Like, yeah. he pretty much went as aggressive as he could without, like, causing havoc.
Yeah.
So he rode good. Like, I think he's got to build up some, race endurance. Kind of faded out near the end, but his speed was really good. And then he had a horrible start in his heat race, and then charged all the way up to 9th. And yeah, it was good to watch. Like, he's got some spice to him. So best club rider right now too. So he's their guy. Anthony Bourdon. Not really familiar with him, but he was on a Suzuki last year and moved to the Yamaha, and kind of the same results as last year. So yeah. The guy's pretty strong.
Pretty standard, yeah.
Pretty standard.
Cole,
yeah, that's great
Cole
radio.
Davies in 8th. I actually did. He looked really good in the heat race. And he qualified pretty well. And wasn't really a surprise to me, though. I knew he was going to be good this year. Like, watching him in SX Futures last year, dude was quick.
He surprised me a little bit, actually. Like, he looked way more comfortable on a Supercross track than I thought I would. Like, it looked like he had, like, rode Supercross for, like, a year or something. Like, had some time under his belt, right? Never really, like, I never seen a sketchy moment. And then, yeah, like, qualifying speed was awesome. That guy was ripping. So, yeah. And then he did charge good, man. Like, he was almost pulled the whole shot in the main, which would have been sick to see what he would have been up there, but went wide, slid out, kind of got tied up in the back, and then went down right on the first lap. So, he went from 20th.
I don't think he's going to get a win this year, but I see him getting a couple podiums for sure.
Oh, I think he might sneak one for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, no, he was awesome to watch. And then, Marchbanks. Notice much?
Didn't notice him at all. I don't think they showed him on the TV once.
Yeah. Dude, nothing stood out. It was the most standard Marchbanks ride. He did look a little tired at the end. Like, after he slid out, wasn't really much flair after that. But it was pretty late in the race. So, but it'll be interesting to see what Pro Circuit does, because with him being the only East Coast rider and Kitchen going east, I wonder if they're just going to run him all of West Coast, or if they're going to bring in Drew Adams to fill in that second spot.
Yeah. Yeah, poor Circuit. They just do not have good luck, hey? Like, fuck, man.
It's always been a tough go these past few years, eh?
Yeah.
But
well, I'm sure that won't be his best finish of the year. I'm sure he'll do much better, but might have had some bike issues, or
he had some podium speed for sure. He was running some pretty quick lap times, so he'll be right there.
Yeah. Anybody else in the 250 class? I guess we should touch on Styles Robertson, the other Triumph guy.
No idea what happened to this guy. I was looking at his lap times here, and he started out in 13th, and I thought maybe he went down or something, but his lap times never, like, they dropped off, but he doesn't have like a crashed lap time, and just faded back, like went from 13th to 20th, and just.
Well, he was the guy that, he was one of them that came in. Didn't they do a last minute coast switch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's a little bit, underprepared, but definitely not a great showing.
Well, that's probably good for the 250 class. I guess we could touch on Levi Kitchen. I mean, I'm not really sure what he's got. Maybe the monkeypox or something, but yeah, it's kind of disappointing we won't be able to see him and Deegan battle it out on the West Coast together this year, but it's going to give him a better shot at a championship, I think, going east.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that myself, but I mean, you know how many people we knew that were sick over the holidays. I'm sure it's just the same bug going around down there. Like,
yeah, not
so much fun. One guy I actually do want to mention, Michael Mosiman, because that's our guy, dude. We love him.
What's up with him? I didn't even. He went down with Deegan, right? Was he tied up in that?
No, he wasn't tied up on that.
Just shitty start.
Went down in the sand at some point, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But good. Like, his qualifying time was okay. Like, he could put one lap together, but like, man, he's like, I think he's like needs time to build or something. Like, he has the gooniest style I've ever watched. Like,
he needs a couple protein bars. That guy,
I think full elbow tuck, and yeah, it just didn't look very he didn't look very stable on the bike. During the race, like he's really like upper body like limp, and yeah. And then after he went down, like he didn't chase up to the front like I thought he would. I definitely thought he had some more raw speed in that. So 250 rider that didn't make the main, but I want to throw him in here. Evan Ferry. You follow?
Dude, I was looking at what the fuck happened to him on the heat.
He weeded himself in the sand section.
Did he?
Yeah, oh yeah. Like what Malcolm Stewart did, very similar. Just tucked it up, got tossed. But he was sketchy all day, man. Like that guy had some pretty brutal moments out there. So, but it sucks.
Why did he ever give up his Triumph ride? Like, I think that was one of the stupidest things he could have done. He's finally on a factory team, and like I think he had I don't know if it was a 2-year deal or not, but he rode the 1 year, got hurt last year with that big concussion or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on a podcast and said that the reason he left was he liked doing like Instagram reels and shit. And Triumph like didn't like it that much or something. It was like the stupidest reasoning. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't really feel like myself because I can't post Insta bangers because I'm working too hard trying to get podiums for this team. It's like, okay, man, do you want to be successful? Do you want to be on a factory team?
Mm-hmm. No, I think it was a mutual thing between them. Like, just he didn't want to be there. Probably wasn't a good fit for him. I don't think he was getting very good results for them. So
yeah, it
was a good thing to peel out. But no, so he's got an Achilles injury now, which is just brutal, man. That he's had a lot of setbacks.
Yeah.
Not a lot of race time under his belt. So yeah, rough go for him. And then one of our Canadian boys, not going to admit that I know him very, very well, but Blake Davies was out there and looked really smooth on the track, man. Like another guy that like didn't look very sketchy. Like he could get around the track nice and smooth, never had any wild moments. And he was a pretty bummed that he didn't make the night show. Like he was right there in 43rd. But he's pretty confident that like he can do it. Like he's really looking forward to next weekend. So
how many is he doing all the West rounds?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he'll get another kick at the can here then.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool to see like, one of our Canadian boys giving a shot.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's dive into the 450s now, I guess.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Holy shit. Pretty crazy race, man. Holy cow.
Was not picking Sexton for the win. I'll tell you that.
No, I did have him in second, so I was close. But I guess let's just start off with the elephant in the room. Like, holy shit, did Jett look bad?
Not like, good.
Qualifying was decent. Like, I mean, Eli Tomac, fastest qualifier. I think first one since 2022 Indy or something like that. So pretty impressive on his end. Like he came out and showed a lot of speed, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jett qualified second. I'm like, yeah, he's gonna be Jett again this year. Yeah, like bring it on. And then heat race, had a shitty start in the heat. Still kind of climbed his way back up though. Whatever, heat race, I'm like, he's just gonna have a shittier gate pick, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then terrible jump off the gate, gets swallowed up by Ando, and yeah, back of the pack. And I'm like, okay, well he's not gonna win, but I bet you he'll be top 5 by the end of this race. Dude, I can't believe he didn't break the top 10. Him and Hunter.
No, both of them did not look like those were the two that you could clearly see that their bikes did not look that good. Like they were super twitchy and they were getting weird feedbacks like the entire time they were riding. Jett could manage it better. Hunter had a couple rough goes. Like he went down in the sand section qualifying. I thought he was going to actually burn his leg. He laid on top of the pipe for like a couple seconds. Had that go and then went down in the main, and yeah, just not great showings from them. Jett still could pull off like the 450 qualifying was epic to watch. Like between Tomac, Sexton, and Jett, like he could still pull off a pretty wild lap time. But it did not look smooth. It was not the Jett that we normally see. So
yeah, you could see it on the broadcast too. Even like, man, he's coming down some of these straightaways and he'd hammer on the brakes. As soon as he got on the brakes, front end just like
Yeah.
Dodge Death Wobble coming into the corner. It was pretty gnarly. So, yeah, and then he started jumping through the whoops. He looked shitty jumping through the whoops. He looked shitty skimming through the whoops. His bike looked bad. He didn't look great. He looked super uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see as much of Hunter on the broadcast, but, I mean, I could imagine same thing with him ending up in 7th place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Those Honda boys got a lot of work to do. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do for fantasy next week because I'm not going to have Jett winning.
The new bike, I think, is like, it's actually kind of shocking to me how they could actually be struggling so much with a new bike. It's not completely new, and it's supposed to be a replica of like the welded frame that they had last year. So it's crazy that they're like, if they're just in that fine of a window where they have to be that dialed in to ride at that speed, then that's pretty crazy to hear. But even we caught they were doing the sound testing and Jett's bike didn't pass the sound, and they were changing the number plate on the left-hand side to a less vented one, trying to get the sound down. Yeah. So, yeah, I think a few things, knowing that camp, they'll have that bike and everything figured out in a few rounds, and then we'll be right back to business for them. So,
not a great deficit to be in, though. Like,
nope.
Not good. Like, Tomac was able to salvage a lot of points coming back to 5th. Sexton wins. Even Ando was up there. Like, these are all guys that Jett's going to have a tough time with, so.
Yeah. I got to give, we were talking about BamBam. Like, I got to give KTM boys credit. Like, Sexton's bike looked awesome all day. Like, super stable. He could just... Like, and he just never had like a moment like we seen last year where like he's just you see he's physically going slow, like he looked really strong, really fast. His starts were so much better. Like he ripped good start in the heat, good start in the main. So them boys over there did some work. Yeah, no, and a lot of his interviews after, he even talked about they made very minimal changes like throughout the day. He said, I tried to keep my fork and my shock on the bike as much as possible. Like, he didn't want to... I think he had a setting going into that he knew he was going to be decent with, and tried to run with it. And you know what? It paid off for him. So, which was opposite to Plessinger, funny enough, because every time we kept going back to the KTM truck, we managed to sneak back to the pits pretty much between all the sessions. We must have seen his forks off like 3 times on his bike getting changes done in the truck. So Sexton is still on that KYB spring fork, and Plessinger's still on the stock style AER air fork. So it'd be interesting to know, what kind of changes that, AP really needed to get done. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Kenny, what'd you think of Kenny's ride? I loved it. I was so pumped. Such a good ride. Yeah. You know what's funny though, on the podium interview, he goes, I won the heat. I felt really good, and I just I came back to the truck and I said, you know what? I really want to get a second tonight. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, on the podium he says this, and I'm like, what the fuck does, like, a guy like that's won championships is going back to his rig and thinking, yeah, I really want to get a second tonight. But he's like, yeah, I didn't want to get a win in front of the big crowd or something like that. I'm like, what? So I don't know. That was kind of strange what he said, but I mean, he looked great. Yeah, I mean, all those off-season races obviously paid off. The qualifying time was not great. Like, sitting 14th, dude, we were watching the whole time like, oh, this is not a good showing, but yeah, he definitely raced completely different than he qualified. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, pumped to see Kickstart Kenny back on the podium for seconds. I mean, do you got him getting a win this year, you think? Oh, you can always bet for one. Yeah. Yeah. I think, some of the top dogs had a little tough go. Like, once they get rolling, he'll have to deal with them again. So, but he'll be right there. I think one thing to remember too, like, Sexton stalled his bike in the main and Roczen caught right back up, and Sexton was like, in a matter of a lap, built his, lap or two, built his gap back up really quick. So if he's got that's the speed that like he needs to match. Yeah. So, we'll see down the road if he actually can match those boys.
All right. Well, rounding off the podium, Jason Anderson.
Team Fried.
Team Fried, yeah. I honestly, I was expecting him to be pretty similar to what he was last year, so I wasn't expecting a ton out of him. Maybe a couple podiums throughout the year, but man, he looked good. So it's going to be hard to keep him off the top 5 for fantasy this year, I think.
Yeah. We caught a little note from Boss there. Prado's been riding lots with him at the Cali test track, and they're just like, Prado's family's like riding a high right now, like being in America, and they're all excited about everything and stuff. And Anderson's been helping him, and his dad was saying he's like, oh, he's such a good rider, like he's gonna win. And I'm like, okay, that's long shot. Like I was going off of like what we seen last year, and man, he was like, there was a part of me is like, he might not be wrong. Like the guy was riding good, he was ripping. So yeah, way better than 2024.
His style's so awesome too.
Oh, he's so fun to watch ride.
Yeah. He was kind of dicey too. Like he showed, I can't remember who he showed a wheel to, but I mean, like classic Anderson riding out there, like just not afraid to mix it up with anybody. So yeah, he looked comfortable, and he looks pretty determined this year. So I see a lot of podiums in his future again this year. But good to see him that he's back on top again.
It'll be awesome to see if he keeps it rolling. I wish the race would have been just a couple laps longer. Like the next guy behind him, like Webb was like right on him near the end, man.
And just literally the classic Cooper Webb, dude. He's like right on his ass last turn. I'm like, yep, Webb's gonna get a podium. Yeah,
Webb just doing Webb things, man. Like he is such a dog.
Yeah, you literally can't count him out.
No, like starting 9th. And like I kind of pictured, I was like, yeah, he's in 9th, and maybe he'll get to like, I don't know, 5th, 6th, right in there. But like he was knocking on the door of that 3rd place spot. Like that's another guy. He's sneaky, man. You can never catch him or count him out of that.
Yeah, no, he looked good.
I gotta give the flag gear some credit though, man. He looks so much better than that Thor shit.
No, I 100% agree. The fly actually has come a long way. It's been growing on me. So
his fly setup was awesome. And then my favorite piece is the helmet. Just for some reason, I love that fly monster helmet. I think that looks really good.
Yeah. No, look good, ride good. Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
He was pretty wicked. Rounding out the top 5, our boy.
Levi
Tomac. Holy shit, was the crowd ever hyped, man. You couldn't even hear the announcers when he'd make a pass.
Even in qualifying, man, like Jett would put a number on the board, and you could hear like the chatter, right? Just like, oh shit, whatever. And then Tomac would go on a heater, and everybody's watching him, and he would top the time. And even then, dude, the stadium was just cheering away. It was so cool. And then his opening ceremonies, like other than AP, like nobody gets a bigger cheer than AP in opening ceremonies. Like he just revs the crowd up.
Yeah.
But like right next to him was Tomac. Like fuck it. He is the like everybody's a Tomac fan right now. Like just wants to see him go out on top, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So watching that front end off the start was a heartbreak. Like when I seen that whole shot and he was leading, I'm like, this is it. A1 win again.
I thought all my dreams were going to come true. Off the start, I was like, oh my God, Jett's getting swallowed up by a tough block right now. I'm like, who got the whole shot though? They flipped the camera. Yeah, Tomac's in front. I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 2 corners later, fucking front end washout. I'm like, no. And then Sexton does a fucking enduro wheelie over him.
Fucking hard enduro's the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, but crazy good ride for him. I mean, I was shocked he got up to 5th, to be honest, but
he looks great, dude. Like there is no like we need to work on the bike. I got to get fitter. No lingering injury like he had going last year. Like coming back, like he's already in race pace. Like he's gonna be wicked this whole season.
Yeah, I mean if he can string a couple wins together here before Jett's able to figure out his shit. If he can build a pretty big gap, yeah, like he could run away with this thing pretty quick.
Yeah.
Even if Jett does figure out his bike and starts, putting up a win or two, it's going to be hard for him to come back from that 12th.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I don't want to discredit Sexton too much. Like, if he's on like that good of a roll and they got the bike working that good, he'll still be in that mix. So it's just, yeah, man, you can't make a mistake in that class.
No, for sure. I mean, realistically, like, best case scenario to a season opener. Like, I hate to say it with Jett going down a bunch and having issues, but it's really going to actually make things interesting, and I'm excited to tune in for the next couple rounds. It's going to be, for the whole season, really, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, and especially like going from last to fifth. I mean, like that should have been Jett's ride, really, right? Like, yeah. So yeah, he's rolling.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we're done glazing Tomac for now.
We got first pod, man. We got a little
come back to it.
We got a little criticized for gargling some Blue Crew balls. We might have to lay off that a little bit.
I love it.
Next guy, dude, I wish his result would have showed how much better he looks in person. But our BamBam, man, he was riding really, really good.
Well, he got all that warm up at the Monster FMX pre-show. So he threw a couple backflips and he was fucking ready.
It sucks to say it, or like eat my words a little bit, but when you see the bikes in person, like the fact that it's just an all red motorcycle, they still look pretty good.
Are we changing our mind?
Still hate the Rockstar Star. That's the biggest problem.
I just don't like the yellow on the red. It's not my favorite, but
in person they still pop, right? Like there's something that stands out about, an all red bike. Like it's just like the Hondas, not the Betas. The Betas don't stand out to me. But,
oh my god. Well, yeah.
But yeah, no, he looked awesome. Like I said, that they got the bikes working so much better. Heard a few comments from Boss, like he thinks they look much, much better this year. So, and then I think the work he's doing at Aldham's is like showed he was really, really consistent, really smooth on the track.
Yeah, like he needed to get in any better shape.
Yeah, no kidding, hey.
But yeah, no, he looked great. I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think he was going to be this good, but yeah, I don't know. I could see a podium or two out of him for sure.
Now, wild fact, and this is just going to be, this is just a Barsha fact, dude. His lap time consistency, 99.26%. It's one of the It's one of the highest I see on this list. Like I said, he looked super strong and consistent the entire time. So yeah, it was impressive, man. Yeah, I liked watching him ride. That thing is fuck. That thing's off the rev limiter, dude. It's I hear his bike everywhere next to Tomac.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, it was a good time watching him.
Yeah. Sweet. Love BamBam. Justin Cooper, yeah. He was, I don't know, he was quiet, kind of. I thought he'd maybe be a little bit better, but yeah, I don't know.
I think he's going to build. From what I've seen, the foundation's there. Mm-hmm. Like, good speed, really consistent, like, never really has like, the raw speed's lacking just a little bit, but he's really consistent around the track, like, can kind of hang with everybody. Just he doesn't really have a spot where he's making a lot of errors, but just gotta pick up a little bit of speed more. But no, he was good. Like led the heat for a little bit there, and just a little more experience like that. I think you'll see him start. I mean, like a 7th is kind of what we were thinking. Like that's a really good result to start with, anyways.
Yeah, for sure. So,
yeah, no, I liked watching him. Yeah, it was good.
What did he end off? What did he even end off last year for? Overall, he was up there.
Well, he got a podium at the last round.
Yeah,
and then last year, I don't know how he finished up.
I think he was like 4th or 5th or something in 450 points at the end of the season. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, have a look. But he was in a group of one of the battles to watch. Like him, Prado, and Justin Hill diced it up for half the race, man. They were going at it. It was awesome to watch.
Yeah. Speaking of Justin Hill, holy shit, man, the sheriff's back. Like, holy Christ, man. That guy is such an anomaly.
The only one sheriff in this town.
I thought he was retiring 4 seasons ago, and now he's back and just breezes to an 8th place, no problem.
What a roller coaster of a career, hey? Like,
crazy.
250 championship, then just dogs an RMZ 250. And then everyone thought he'd be unreal on a 450 because he had that one good Florida race on the JGR Suzuki. And then, now we're back after being a sheriff.
Yeah, we're back. And holy shit, man.
He looked good, dude. Like, feel like I'm saying everybody looked good. There's a couple guys coming up that I'm going to actually dog on a little bit. But, yeah, that was the best thing. Actually, one of the best things about this race was the injuries were low and everybody looked
decent.
really strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, actually, one question I'll ask you. So, like, the off season that we had, there wasn't a lot of team changes, wasn't a lot of bike changes. Like, the Lawrences got new Hondas. Everyone else kind of stayed with their program, the bikes they had and everything. Do you prefer coming into a season having that scenario or having a scenario where everybody changed up, new bikes, new team, new shit, and, like, want to see how they do there?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I don't know. Both scenarios are great. I mean, I guess I would prefer probably if there was more changes, just because there's, more content on the web to take in about, people's bikes changes, how they're doing, what their gear looks like, shit like that. But on the flip side, when everything kind of stays the same and people aren't on fresh bikes, it's, they're, I feel like, probably less likely to get injured in the off season. They have more time on their bike to get used to and more time with their staff and their crew and their mechanics to get familiarized with things, and makes for better racing, I guess, like this year. So toss up. Yeah, I don't even know.
I'm riding the wave of, like, I loved how this season's playing out right now. It drives me nuts when, like, guys come in, new bike, they're like, never felt better, this bike's sick, blah, blah, blah. And then first 2 rounds, we're figuring out the bike. And then there's complaints, there's issues, there's all this stuff. Like, that's, other than the Lawrences, which, like I said, they'll probably have that figured out fairly soon. There's not much of that going on right now. And it's like everybody's best version of themselves. So, like, the racing is really, really good. Yeah,
for sure. No, it's going to be pretty wicked. But yeah, back to Justin Hill. Yeah, like, Team Tedder, KTM. Like, can we get the guy on a better team? Like, does nobody want to sign the guy?
Man, I think that program suits him. Like, it's a pretty good spot for him.
I guess it works for him, so why change? But, like, man, I don't know. Why wouldn't Husky take a risk on him, or or fucking Beta or something, or like maybe Triumph's could sign him or something.
Yeah, well,
like, getting an 8th place in the 450 main event is pretty impressive for a guy that, is a sheriff.
Well, I think he gets a season rolling of these kinds of results, and he'll be getting phone calls.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, he, like, looked good, moved forward, like, went from 12th to 8th. Like, there was he wasn't given that 8th, man. He deserved it. And then, like I said, that battle with him, Cooper, and Prado, like, he was mixing it with them guys. They passed back and forth a couple times, so yeah, he was fighting with them pretty good.
Yeah, good for him. Good ride.
The one guy that, like I said, I didn't think looked super awesome was AP.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing a little bit of bike setup, having the forks off so many times and stuff that we've seen, but, like, he still moved forward, like 17th, moved to 9th, but yeah, I think, like, a little more consistency out of him would be good. Like, just get an overall better day going, like, not great starts, and just getting himself in a better position. Like, maybe the day he was having doesn't show, like, what kind of speed he's running right now, but for the most part, I think he's got a little more in the tank.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love him too, though. Like, his race day live interview, you probably didn't catch it, but man, it was funny. No. It was like, I can't remember the reporter's name. It was a chick, but she's interviewing him. He's got the fucking mullet flying out the back. And she's, like, trying to talk about, like, preseason and, like, how he's feeling and stuff. And he's like, yeah, like, pretty chill preseason. Just, rode the bike, did some laps. And, like that's it. Like, just doesn't want to talk about, like, changes. Like, he probably didn't even make any. But yeah, he's just like, yeah, just riding the bike and, yeah, just doing some laps. She's like, okay, great insight from Aaron Plessinger.
Dude, he's a fan hero. Like, we were standing outside the KTM truck after qualifying, And like he rolled in out of his gear, and in like 5 minutes, dude, he's got the cowboy hat on, the boots, the jeans, and he must have signed autographs. Like all the trucks have like an autograph signing time.
Yeah.
But like the entire time between the qualifying and then the main event, he was out there signing autographs. Like he was out there for like 45 minutes having a little fan fest to himself. Like
probably why he got ninth. He's got arm pump from signing so many fucking autographs. KTM's got to put the leash on him and drag him back in, man.
Corral that thing.
Yeah.
But no, man, he's so cool. And like I said, when he came out to opening ceremonies, that place went off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's for the people. You gotta love him.
Everybody loves the cowboy, man.
Yeah. Okay. 10th, Malcolm Stewart.
Oh
man, did that suck.
That was not cool.
Yeah, I really hated watching that, man. I'm a big Stu fan, and yeah, his brother on the broadcast when he goes down, he doesn't even like seem like shocked or surprised or anything. He's shit, get up, bro.
Yeah. I caught that too. I thought it was so funny. It sucks too because it knocked the wind out of his day. He was running some good pace, man. Like top 5. I was pretty confident top 5 speed, but I give him credit. Like that crash was brutal, and then to come back and ride and still put in some points. Like it's a pretty good showing.
Yeah, hopefully he's gonna be like I don't see him being 100% for San Diego. I think he's gonna be pretty fucking sore this week, unfortunately. So
yeah,
I won't have him. I don't see him doing anything crazy next weekend. Maybe the weekend after, but yeah, I mean he's got potential to do something. But I think we're just gonna have to wait till he can start feeling a bit better after that one.
Yeah,
but good on him for getting a top 10, man. I didn't think he was going to do that. Like he beats Hunter and Jett.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can chalk that up as a win in his books.
Yeah. And he's still he clipped his way forward a little bit, like got himself from 14th to 10th. And then I think one of those things, man, just get through it, take the week off or whatever you need to do to heal up and come back again. Right. So, but yeah, beat Het.
Yeah.
Beat Hunter, beat Jett. We don't really have to go through all that again.
No.
But
what else? Any other notable riders outside of the top 10? I guess we could touch on Shane McElrath notes.
Shane Sins.
Shane Sins drops out of SMX series.
His team doesn't have the funding for him to do the full series. It's kind of like a partial deal that he's got going. But
okay.
It was one of his better 450 showings. Like I wanted to make a note on it. I just thought he rode pretty well. He's always done really good on the 250s, and then the 450s, like he's near the tail end or a couple times not qualifying kind of thing, right? So, I thought he rode really good. I just kind of wanted to make note of him. So
yeah, no, I think a 12's pretty respectable for Shane. I don't see him really doing much better than that. Or no, sorry, 13th.
13th, yeah.
But
guy, we should talk a little bit about his Prado because that was Boston's main guy back in Europe, and we had hype around him all day. Boston was hyping us up.
Did you guys have a chance to go talk with him and shit in the pits or anything like that?
Yeah, we got to talk with him. His old man was there. His old man is really cool, man. They're a cool family. He's super, super nice. Yeah.
Sweet.
They're like I said, they were really excited to be here. Like the opportunity, they're really excited to get it with Cowie. And he said that bike he really likes that bike. He says that thing's awesome. And his heat race was sweet. Yeah, rode really, really well. He had more pace. Like, we figured he had more pace than what we were expecting and then still looked really comfortable. Like in qualifying, there was one section where it was an elevated left-hand turn right beside the start corner. And it was cool to watch him, man. He'd come in that thing and like wheelie the front end around and then drop down right before the triple and just light on the bike, playing with it. And then watching him ride sand was like, he had the full Euro style in the sand. Kind of just had his own flair. Like he's awesome to watch. I love his attitude. And
yeah, I think he's going to be really fun to watch this year too. I mean, the only thing I'll make note about him in the main event, you could tell dude was fucking tired. Maybe not like, I don't know, physically exhausted or whatever, but he had an arm pump for sure. Because when he went down on the whoops, like I think he was barely hanging on to the bikes. As soon as he gets up, he does a huge arm shake. And then picks up his bike again. And then that next lap was so goddamn slow.
Yeah.
But
he was still pumped on like his, like how it all went though. Like I think he got a little taste of like, you know, he can not be up there, but like, you know, he can see what his potential is, right? And then just to be that comfy on the Supercross track, get through the first round healthy, all that stuff. And I think like they were, you know, stoked of the bike and race conditions and everything. Like I think they took a lot of positive out of it. So it's one of those things I only think it's going to be up from the 14th.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, all of his interviews, he seems like a super down-to-earth guy. I'm sure Boston probably, I mean, you talked to him, but I'm sure Boston probably told you that too as well. But
yeah,
seems like a super chill dude. So he'll be fun to watch this year.
100%.
Yeah.
My last guy, I'm going to talk about the Chiz.
The Chiz master.
Gave
Chizzed on everybody.
Mouthfuls of chism.
Mouthfuls of chism. Dude, he was fucking hyped qualifying out of the heat. He was throwing some fist pumps over the finish line. Well deserved.
Man, we're watching everybody but him. Like, he went over the finish line. I'm like, oh, there's Chiz. I wonder what he got. 9th. Of course, he goes straight into the main. Like, the guy's 180 years old.
Yeah.
And is still pulling it off. Like, that's so cool, man. Like, he's
20th
like,
and final season, A1, straight into the main, man.
Yeah.
I say fuck it, run it back next year already. Just after that one result, run it back.
Man, yeah, 20 years of racing too. I remember my first memory of him was when he was in 09. He was James Stewart's teammate on Factory Yamaha. Mm-hmm. And I just remember I'm like, who the hell's Kyle Chisholm? Like, never knew the guy, knew nothing about him, but yeah, like one of the most popular, well, if you want to say privateers, like that Suzuki team's still pretty legit, but
yeah, like
was one of the most popular privateers and just one of those guys like always sneaking into the main like that. Like, yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was pretty hyped to see him qualify straight into the main there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, no, I think that wraps up the racing. Like I said, that was a great event to go to. Like we got lucky on the racing there. So yeah, the hype's already real for round 2, man.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pumped. I guess other 450 guys didn't qualify that we should touch on too. Ferrandis doesn't make it.
Dude, are you a Ferrandis fan?
I liked him on Yamaha, of course.
Fucking stop it.
But then after that, I don't really give a shit.
Yeah. I know I made fun of Mosiman for his goofy style, but Ferrandis, dude, like he's got this
he's got the FMX bars on too, man.
Yeah. And then every time every jump, he'll like get about 3/4 of the way in the air, and then he's got this goat hump. Like he gives the bars a big stroke and then fucking lands. I don't know. It's the goofiest thing I've ever seen, but yeah, he had a rough go. He didn't look very great. But like walking by the pits, like not to knock that Phoenix Racing Honda at all, but dude, his bike looked like it had 100 hours on it. Like it looked like a roached Honda with fresh graphics. So I don't know like how much support that program has. So
that's his own damn fault though, man. He had calls. Like I think Yamaha wanted to keep him and he got all horny because he saw Jett riding a fucking Honda, and then he's like, I don't even know what's a French accent. I think I could do that.
Solid effort.
Yeah.
Tabernac.
Yeah, Tabernac.
But, oh man, yeah, no, I don't know. The one thing I'll give him is, like, I haven't heard any interviews with him. I've been trying to find one. I wanted to know how much, like, he's complaining about the bike, or like I want to know what excuse he's coming up with. I will give him a little credit though. Like when he got knocked down in the LCQ, and pushed over that berm. Like, I was expecting like arms throwing up or like kind of a little pity party there, but he just flicked the visor, got up, and like is like, well, this is over now, right? So
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Rolling out of here, grabbing a croissant.
Colt Nichols too. He didn't qualify. That's got a sting.
I'm actually that was a bit of a shock.
Yeah,
for real. He's definitely better than that.
Yeah, he didn't do anything in the LCQ either. Like,
no,
he wasn't. He was like in that 5th, 6th, or like 7th, 6th or whatever. And I think like Moran's and a couple other guys were ahead of him, and like, yeah, didn't look faster than him. He wasn't advancing on him really. He was just kind of staying like a bike length behind him the whole time, and wasn't showing him a wheel. Just didn't look aggressive. So yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised he didn't qualify, but
no, he definitely should have had some more raw speed for that LCQ. But
yeah,
just talk about put yourself in a bad scenario, like not getting the start, not putting yourself in a good place. So I'm sure we won't see too much of this. Like I expect him hanging around like that 10 to 13 spot kind of thing, but like not qualifying, that's not a good showing at all.
No,
so
for sure.
But yeah,
well, that's a quick little recap, I guess, of Anaheim 1. I guess we could do some San Diego predictions.
San Diego.
What do you got? San Diego with the whale's vagina.
Whale's vagina.
Give me your top 3 450 right now, or sorry, 250 right now, and then do your top 3 or 5, whatever you want to do, 450 right after.
Well, 250, Deegan, Beaumer, Smith. I think Deegan's gonna have a reason to bounce back. I think he'll just snag.
So what? Shimoda should just hang back, eat sushi, and just not show up to the next round, or what?
You know what? If he rips a start, dude, I'll have to change my pick. But I'm gonna hold strong on that 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen some good speed out of Smith, and then the other 2, man, they're quick. So 450s. I'm gonna go Tomac, Sexton, and I don't think we'll get Jett back. I think we'll get a Webb podium.
Yep.
I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, he was sneaky, man. He was sneaky, and he's gonna want to get on the box right away. So
yeah.
250. I got pretty much the same as you. I would go Haiden, Beaumer, and Shimoda. Top 3. I think Shimoda, he's got a little taste now of that sweet victory sauce. And I think the Jap wants more.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be fighting this season. So I got him on the box. 450, Tomac's just looking too undeniably quick. Hopefully he's done with making mistakes though. Tomac, yeah, you can't even like remotely think about the Honda boys even in the top 5 right now, honestly. Tomac, Sexton, I think Ando's gonna he's gonna pull another podium.
Think so.
Yeah, I think Webb 4th, but I think it's a toss up between those 2. I think Ando's here to stay on the podium for a while, unless he shows me otherwise. But yeah,
I'm not against it at all. I'd love to see Ando keep that up, man. Like, yeah, he's everybody likes a little Team Fried.
Team Fried, let's do it. Okay, so what else we got here? Let's do new segment, blind rankings.
All right.
I'm gonna share my screen with you.
Okay.
And then you have to rate it blindly 1 through 5. And this is kits. 250, 450 mixed. Okay. So starting off here, where do you got this guy? Well, let me move this. Boom. What do we think?
That's not his race day kit, but you know what it looks like, right? The orange,
it's that purple or whatever. Yeah.
Number 1.
Love the One Industry shit, hey?
Oh, dude. You know what? I'm a little biased. They were my very first gear sponsor growing up. Did you ever use Hook It? Or familiar with it?
No.
So Hook It used to be like it was Facebook profile for motocross. So you could build this profile, and then like companies would just have like it was basically an avenue just to submit a resume and get sponsorships, and then they could like go on your profile and see your pictures, results, and all this stuff. And yeah, One Industries was the first one to give me a gear sponsorship. And I remember like I ordered this. My mom wouldn't let me order a bunch of stuff, and I just made a massive order because I'm like, well, 50% off. And I went and took one of her MasterCards out of her purse and just sent the thing in. And then when it showed up, I like thought, oh, I'll just take the box and hide it and she'll never know. And then yeah, fucking MasterCard statement comes out and it's $600.
Holy fuck.
But
she's like, I thought you were sponsored.
So there's a little bit of nostalgia there for me, but that orange purple kit, there's two guys that are tied for best kit, but that purple kit is, I loved it.
Okay, well, that's pretty crazy putting it in one on the blind rank, because there might be a nice kit out here too. But,
well, where's this rank for you?
I would say one.
Okay.
I would say one also.
The one gear goes one.
Okay, next one.
Oh man. 4.
Not really pumped on it?
No, I've never been a real fan of that light gray kind of flat gear. Like, it didn't have any pop to it. Like, when you were watching him ride in the stadium, like, his boots stood out, and then the gear was just, it was almost camouflage to the environment.
Yeah.
No.
I think it looked good on TV. I don't think I would put it 4. I'd probably put it 3.
Okay.
But, like, his last year kits were unreal. Like, that cow kit, that Moo Moo kit, fuck, that thing is fire.
Oh man, Alpine Stars is got some of the best style in the industry right now for gear. That one's just not one of them for me.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you got it 1 and 4. Next,
the old retro gear. I was hyped about this when I seen the post. They did a great job on the social media side of it.
Yeah.
Sadly for me, it didn't translate that much in person.
I will 110% agree with you on that.
I especially like when it got a little dirty, it looked like they were wearing some pretty wore out shit. I gotta save the 2 spot. I'm gonna give that 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1, 3, and 4 you got.
Yeah.
So you got 2 and 5 left. And I think you're gonna be happy with that.
Oh my god, dude. This is a negative 40.
Yeah. What the fuck? What's up with the purple fucking boots too? Like,
I completely understand. That's the company colors. They want to stand it. Like, they stood out. Like, I thought they were gonna head out to the street and start directing traffic wearing that shit. But
yeah, not the latest kit from FXR.
My old manager from KTM would be so disappointed in me because that neon yellow is his all time. Actually, he texted me and said, "Look how fucking sweet they look." And yeah, neon yellow is one of my all-time most hated colors. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, they definitely stood out on the broadcast, but man, was not a fan of that kit coming in.
No, even the bikes have too much neon yellow for me.
Totally agree. Last year's they looked way better.
Yeah, they overdid it just a little bit. Little bit doesn't bother me at all. You know, you get a couple highlights here and there, but yeah, you don't have to be the entire highlighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the number 2 spot, you have Shimoda.
Ooh, yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Didn't like it, hey?
No. Just another. It's just a color combo that I'm just not really firing.
Don't say anything too. You might get your fucking sponsorship stolen from you. So.
Love Fox Racing. Don't get me wrong, but they either absolutely nail it or they miss the mark. Yeah. There's one guy you should have added to this that they absolutely nailed it.
Who's that?
Prado's pink kit.
Yeah, that was pretty fire. I like that.
That was my other tie for number 1. That the helmet was my favorite part too. That pink helmet paint job and his whole getup and the boots, everything. That was Beaumer and Prado were my 2 best dressed for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Well,
where do you have this Fox kit for you?
Huh?
Where do you have this Fox kit rated for you?
I like it.
Really, eh?
I think I'd put it 2.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it stood out well in the red. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
It looks good with the Honda. Like,
yeah.
I like it, yeah.
I didn't really like it because Roczen, I don't think was wearing this exact fit, but it was something kind of similar. I didn't like it as much on him with the yellow bike, but I thought it looked good on the Honda. So
Yeah, I think it contrasts well with the Honda. Like the yellow on yellow, I don't think was the best look.
no, but not bad, blind ranking. We're gonna have to keep that going.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
I like doing that. We'll have to change it up in segments a little bit. Hey.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was blind ranking.
Wild segment.
Wild segment.
Hey, speaking of the Triumphs too, pretty wild sponsor that's on the shroud, hey?
Call of Duty, man.
Or if you want to call it a partnership right now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Cool. I like it.
I think
something different.
I think it's smart. Like it's just a different avenue to pull from a different demographic, right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was playing Warzone like probably fucking 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, dude, I'm like ripping around, just absolutely sniping noobs, and then
on the
drop down. Yeah, drop down, dude. There's a fucking Polaris Razor. I'm like, shit, sweet. Hop in that, rip around, get out, fry a couple more noobs, and then I look around the corner, boom, Triumph dirt bike, hop on that. I was like, felt like I was playing MX versus ATV Untamed for a bit. I was just like, holy fuck, is there like helicopters in this thing too? But
no way.
Yeah, except of course they absolutely fuck the sound on the video game. It's like a moped when you're riding around. They just can never get it right.
It's classic, dude. They had early 2000s sounds dialed, and we can't do it anymore. I don't know what happened.
But yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool sponsor or partnership, I guess, right now.
Yeah, we looked up the reason that's all going on. Why the Call of Duty's on the bike? Just
why?
Yeah, just the bikes in the game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I had to look that up because when you sent it to me, I had no idea why that was on there.
Yeah, pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know who would have that connection with Call of Duty, but I mean, good for them. I'm sure they'll probably do it next year, I would assume. But yeah, I don't know. Cool little outside sponsorship. Cool to see, especially new manufacturers going outside the box.
Yeah,
trying to get their name out there and stuff. So good for the sport.
New manufacturer. What's the thought on the Ducati TLD?
I don't know. I'm torn. I'm really torn because first off, did you like my comment on the I think it was Racer X post?
Oh, with the K&N filter.
Yeah.
That was gold.
Yeah. It got a couple likes, but
yeah, K&N filters blowing motors.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not running them in the bikes, but I'm happy for Troy Lee. He got to keep, like a lot of his sponsors and shit went with him, which is nice. Like, it's good to see, like, even the littler guys like Beneath and who else was on there. I don't know. It's just got the same kind of feel as the old Gas team, which I like. I'm not a fan of the Italian manufacturers. I don't really like them as a brand. Like I heard like Ducati does kind of shitty things to dealers. Maybe that's why I don't like them as much. But I mean, awesome that the sport's getting another manufacturer. Hopefully they can do better than Beta.
There's definitely there's Ducati diehards out there. Like there's a certain group of people that just lives and breathes Ducati, right? So it'd be cool to have them see our sport because their brand will be here. But if Ducati was to pick a team to make them look any cooler, like it's gonna be TLD. That whole the truck looked amazing. The bike was a cleaned up prototype bike they had been riding, and it was good. But you can definitely tell some of the stuff on the bike was prototype-ish, like not completely finished. But the bike, I'm pretty sure the whole setup will look pretty damn cool. And if they're gonna be a factory effort through Ducati, I'm pretty sure they would probably be able to get some pretty, a big name on that team. Like there'll probably be some people pretty interested to ride a Ducati.
Yeah, well, there's already rumblings. Sounds like Barsha's likely to go there next year. Sounds like Roczen is another name to go there next year. I mean, I think those are two amazing picks to have. They're not going to be, I don't think, battling for championships next year. That's they're going to be getting pretty old, but Man, if they can have both those guys, those are both going to be solid top 8 riders next year.
Yeah.
That have podium potential. So, yeah, I mean, if they can put it together, get those riders on there, they're going to look great. They're going to have some decent riders. I'm sure they're going to have a shit ton of money from Ducati to, get this whole program off the ground. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't like Ducati as much. But,
twisted wrist going after cultures.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, it'll be cool to see what kind of budget they roll in with, and what kind of guys they can get, right?
Are they going to have the private jet like Honda?
We'll have to find out.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. Did you, look into that at all?
No. I'd seen the post, didn't dig much into it.
And they're, that's all they're talking about in, the pre-race, fucking, what's it called? Media scrum or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's all sucking them off. Oh, yeah, you came in on the Honda Jet, blah, blah, blah. And then I, look at the post. The Jet looks nice. Mm-hmm. But then I, looked up the actual model and stuff, what it looks like. There's, 4 seats on it. It's fucking tiny.
Yeah, it's a small little jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm they can't even bring their dogs with them. But, I mean, good for them, I guess. Whatever. I'm not flying on a private jet, so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little above us still a little bit. But
they might get that thing taken away after those results. Who knows?
Yeah. But no, I didn't notice too much else past that. I looked at all the bikes really, really close, tried to notice anything. I know last year there was a lot of people dabbling with the AT82 Dunlop tire. Mm-hmm. For all the bikes I seen, Dunlop riders, they were all on MX34 rears, and then kind of switching between front 34 front. So nothing crazy there, and yeah, not a lot of
change in the pits, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was a good race. It was a good time.
What else can we talk about? Did you catch the Insta 360 post?
No.
That SMX did?
No.
So, did you notice the tough blocks or anything at the race?
What about them?
Well, they had Insta 360. They have some sort of partnership or sponsorship from Insta 360. The cameras now.
Yeah.
And they announced it on their social media, on SMX social media, and I was like, Jett, that's sweet. Are they going to be riding with them now? Because you could get some wicked angles with those cameras. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they had the sponsorship banners over top of the rider listing during the races and stuff. Mm-hmm. The tough blocks were all over the track, but not one segment about them during the broadcast. I was expecting, from what it looked like on their posts, in the comments, it looked like they were going to have some sort of live onboard footage of the race. So I was really looking forward to that. So it was kind of a bummer that they didn't have anything like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's in the works.
I miss the onboard footage a lot. That kind of sucks that they can't have the GoPro mounted on the helmets. I get the reasoning why, but it used to add so much more to it.
Yeah. Dude, we would never be able to watch the James Stewart Toronto footage. And that is some of the gnarliest footage you can watch.
Well, GoPro used to do such a good job with that too, where they used to run what position they were in as they were passing people through. Mm-hmm. They were awesome to watch. But yeah, that's a great one to pull up. That's such an iconic video.
Yeah. So yeah, a little bit of a bummer on that front. Hopefully they're able to fix or figure something out in the future, because man, onboard footage, especially with those cameras and what they're capable of,
well,
it'd be cool.
Even going back to Troy Lee's creativity, they were the only team for a while there that were mounting the camera on the front number plate of Barcia's bike, and that we would get that onboard view. Mm-hmm. But it's still so you're turning the bars, the bike's vibrating, it's such a shaky view. It's not stable you're the camera on a helmet is, right? So yeah, it would be cool to get something like that again. Or even the MXGPs. I don't know if they could. Yeah, they should be able to do this. The MXGPs, they'll do a track preview, and they'll have the drone follow the guy around the track pretty close. Mm-hmm. It'd be cool if they could do something like that. Just give us more of a view of the track from the the bike's perspective, right?
Yeah,
or the rider's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they're able to do in the future, but I got one last final thing. I don't know if you have anything else, but the SMX finale or the finals rounds, did you catch what's going on there?
Yeah, I did see I seen the locations they're going, and then they were mentioning that the St. Louis round, they're going to be able to use the entire facility. So, like, they have massive indoor parking, like the pits every time in St. Louis are indoors. Yeah. And they're supposed to be able, they're planning on trying to be able to build like a motocross-ish section, like throughout the entire building and then back into the stadium kind of. It's supposed to be like this pretty unique thing. Like, they don't have track maps out yet, so I'd like to see the track map first. And they kept mentioning it in the podcast. Like, they would mention it in the SMX preview, and then they'd be like, we won't say too much or without releasing too much information kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So, or no, sorry, I heard that on the broadcast. I shouldn't say the SMX preview, but
okay, I didn't catch any of that obviously then, because I just seen St. Louis on the schedule and I was like, what the fuck? And then I go back to last year and I'm like, what are the lap times even at St. Louis? Like, it's not that big.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're 54-minute lap times when Eli Tomac won last year. And I'm like, doesn't really seem much of like a SMX round to me, but that makes more sense what you're saying then. Hopefully they're able to do something cool.
Like, once we get a track map, it'd be really cool to talk about because, like I said, they wanted to use the entire building. So, and it's the other one they mentioned that caught my attention. They said we're going to give a different fan experience. So I don't know if they're going to have fans like throughout the stadium, but like I said, without speculating too much, it'll be cool to see what they come up with. I mean, it's going to be way better than that piece of shit second round we had this past year.
Oh yeah, it was brutal.
That was bad. So I think the three locations are good picks so far.
Yeah, I like Charlotte. I like the Z Max drag or whatever the fuck they call it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
Vegas I was at Vegas last year and I thought it was decent. I honestly thought the venue was going to be bigger. Didn't seem like it feels like they could have used a bigger venue for having like the final round. But it was decent.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. I think it showed better on the broadcast too than it did in person. But
yeah, well, I kind of thought about it the other day. Like, when you went, like, the viewing there couldn't have been that great. Like, you probably had to move around to see a lot of the track, eh?
Yeah, and like we got expensive tickets from Alpine Stars, and like if it were up to me, I would have been sitting on the completely other side. Like, the grandstands had a way better view. You could see, because where we were like in the middle of the track.
Yeah. And
then behind us was like the fast section and shit where Jett launched that fucking huge jump over Tomac or single over Tomac.
Yeah.
So that entire section, you literally had to stand up. And if you were like down low, because we were at like the top step, you couldn't see fucking anything behind you. And there's barely any like big screens to watch. So for 20 seconds or 15 seconds of the race or whatever, you had basically no idea what was going on. Luckily, we could kind of peek through and see.
Yeah.
But if it were up to me, I would have been sitting on the other side completely way up, so I could have seen over top of the bleachers we were sitting in. But
yeah,
I don't know. Vegas is fun though.
That's one thing I like about going to the Supercrosses, man. Like, especially like if anyone goes, buy club seats. Like, they are worth their money. It's at the perfect height. Like, you're close enough that you can see everything, but you're high enough that you can see the entire track.
Yeah.
And plus, like, they have QR codes, so you just order beers and food right from your phone. You don't have to leave your seats in the club seats.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's $100 more than a regular seat. It's totally worth the money. But I love that part about going to a Supercross. Like, you just sit there and see it all. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But my last question for you, we have a pretty old 450 class. Like, these guys are getting up there in age, and some of them are going to be checking out pretty soon. But if it was you racing, at what age are you thinking that you're checked out, you've had enough?
Well, Brandon, it's pretty hard to think about even racing a Supercross, first off, for me. But
so would you want more of like a Tomac career where like you're Tomac and Anderson where you're getting a lot of years in, still good results, putting in some good shit, or more of a Villiers where you absolutely work them, clean up for 4 or 5 years, and then peace?
Villapoto. I want to fucking win and then go drink beer. I don't want to be 33 years old, grinding it out at my home track, or 31 or whatever, grinding it out at my home track in Colorado by myself.
Yeah.
Like, dude, let me sit back on the couch and just watch the races from home at that point.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's a mindset thing, though. Like, that's fully Tomac, because that would not be me.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I'm more in the... I think I'd be good till, like, 28 would be, like, mint. And then, yeah, dude, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just want to go ride.
Yeah.
I don't want to race.
No, fuck that.
But
all right. Well, is that Twisted Wrist episode number 2 right there?
Yeah, that's the Twisted Wrist goes to A1.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice to go this time and get as much info and see as much stuff as we could. And like there'll be some more stories that come out from A1 probably down the road. But yeah, we'll just keep on top of all the media stuff we can do and make the most of it from home.
Yeah, what are you doing next weekend, by the way? Working? Are you night?
Nope, daytime.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we might have to do Twisted Wrist live from the stew.
Yeah, we might have to. I think that's what's gonna happen. Might have to even do the Saturday night one. We'll see.
Yeah.
But alrighty. Well,
it's 12:30 in the morning.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. So we better sign off on this.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks everybody for tuning in to Twisted Wrist episode number 2. Little shaky off the beginning. We cleaned her up though, so we're getting better at this thing, I think. We'll be back.
It's only up from here.
It's only up from here. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Please make sure to like and subscribe and give us a follow. Yeah, I don't know. Still seeing where this thing's going to go. Having fun so far though, so... Thanks, guys.
Been a really good time doing this, so we'll see y'all next time.
Okay, later.